me why you're out here today in your the People's DEP hazard suit?
Yeah, no one is protecting the public health in the Four River Basin except for the people themselves. So the actual Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection has abdicated their responsibility to protect the environment. They've ignored the injustice that's happening here in Weymouth, and so we're here. The only people who are protecting the public health and the environment now are the people themselves. So we're declaring ourselves to be the People's Department of Environmental Protection, and we're here to respond to this toxic waste that is being spread outside of this toxic foundation where they want to build a compressor.
Can you tell me a little bit about what is the danger of the compressor plant that's being built here?
This parcel of land is literally a toxic foundation that they want to build this compressor on. It's built on coal ash, and coal ash has a number of toxic compounds in it, including arsenic, selenium, other metals that are toxic to human health. In addition, there is asbestos known to be in this site from burner bricks that was used in previous coal-fired electricity generation in this area. And finally, there's 11 million gallons of diesel fuel oil that have spilled into this site and soaked into this. So it's a toxic mess.
Can you tell me how did this building site, how did they get permits to build on this such a toxic site?
As I said, the Department of Environmental Protection has not done its job. It's actually, in fact, said in its own words that it has collaborated with Enbridge Corporation to write the environmental permits for the siting of this compressor. They are not acting in the public interest. They're actually serving the corporate entity Enbridge.
And could you give me some information about the governor's position on all this?
Governor Baker has not said anything other than that he says this is a federal matter that's out of his hands, that his hands are tied. However, we know that he's taken $112,000 from the representatives of Enbridge, their law firm, their environmental consultant, and so he's financially conflicted. In fact, he has direct financial investments personally in the pipeline that would be fed from the Weymouth compressor station. It's ExxonMobil that he's directly invested in that owns part of the pipe that would come out of the Weymouth compressor. So he's conflicted, and he's not serving the public interest, he's serving Enbridge.
I see that there's very big apartment buildings, private residences back here and over here. Can you tell me what will be the impact of all these toxins on them, and also the compressor impact on them, that being that they're so close?
Many renowned health experts, like Dr. Phil Landrigan, have said that the compressor will elevate levels of carcinogens and will increase the cancer risk for people living in this area, especially sensitive populations, including young kids, elderly, and other vulnerable populations. In addition, this is an environmental justice community right across the river there, and it's designated by the state as an environmental justice community. And all of these areas, by the DEP's own data, shows that they're already overburdened with levels of carcinogens and neurotoxins that already exceed state guidelines for health.
Okay, any other important information that the public needs to know about this compressor station?
Yeah, the reason we're out here on the bridge, not just at the site, but on the bridge, is that the applicant, Enbridge, is saying that it wants to move 1,100 dump truck loads full of this toxic coal ash containing arsenic, asbestos, and other toxic materials off-site into landfills located in New Hampshire, located near Fitchburg and Westminster, located in Taunton, Massachusetts, and elsewhere. And we see that they are not taking, even now, they're violating basic traffic laws like making illegal turns in and out of the site. They said in their own plan that they were going to have decontamination facilities for their trucks. We're not seeing any of that. They're tracking this stuff out onto the roadways in the Four River communities and across the state. So that's a red line that cannot be crossed, and we're here to say that they are not going to be allowed to get away with that environmental and ecological crime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're part of Mothers Out Front, Lincoln, and we're here to support the people of Weymouth. And we feel like it's going to turn a special site into a toxic site, and we're concerned about the toxicity to the children of Weymouth and Quincy and the other Four River communities. So we're here to support them.
And what kind of health risk is it to the children around in this area? What kind of health risk?
Well, I think there's already an increased amount of asthma for children, and I'm not a physician, so I can't say exactly, but from what I've read, there'll be possible more toxics released into the air because of the compressor and fracked gas that's coming through. So that can't be good for the children's health.
And can I ask you a question? Can you tell me a little bit about what they're building here and what the dangers are?
Me?
Yes.
The dangers are to the community. The dangers are toxins, as Stacey was saying, being released into the air. The dangers are just so many that it's hard to even list them. And I think what feels the most dangerous is that citizens of these communities are not being listened to or respected, and things are going forward without any recourse.
And what can you do about it as citizens?
We can show up, and we need a lot more people to show up and stand in solidarity with these citizens who are trying to keep their children and their families safe.
Anything else that gives the information that we need to know?
Bethany?
We've seen, sadly, the tragic explosions in the Merrimack Valley, and that could easily happen here at the base of this big bridge, and I'm concerned about what would happen during rush hour if there's an explosion. So,
has there been other explosions of compressor plants?
I think so, yes. But there was a major explosion on the the pipes up in Andover and Lawrence a year ago.
We're here today protesting the Weymouth compressor station. The hazmat suits are a part of, our point that Enbridge and the compressor station are not cleaning up their trucks like they're supposed to. The EPA is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so we're wearing our hazmat suits because somebody's got to clean it up. It's going to be us, the residents of this area. So that's why. Yeah.
What exactly needs to be cleaned up?
Well, it's been shown that the EPA has kind of ignored the fact that, a lot of the soil in the area has like pollutants and toxins, and it's just stuff on the wheels, and they're not cleaning it up the way they're supposed to be.
We're out here because this compressor station upgrade is a key linchpin in the natural gas pipeline that's going to be transporting gas from fracking fields. That's a dangerous resource all the way up through Massachusetts and Maine. And this is a resource that we don't want to determine our energy future. These kinds of projects are going on all over the state. Our region's energy planners, like ISO New England, like the Public Utility Commission, they're planning for a future that's based on natural gas, and we need to stop that. And there are also many environmental concerns about the dirtiness of this site. It's not clean. The soil here isn't clean, and the Public Utility Commission isn't really accurately making sure these people clean this site up properly. So that's broad strokes why I'm out here today.
What does that mean for the people that live around here?
means they're locking their lives and their lives of their children into a future dependent on natural gas. And we need to be a future that's dependent on renewable energy to save ourselves. I mean, we've been told and we know it to be the case that we don't have very much time left to act if we're going to save the planet. And this is just a piece of that same story. That we're in a really, really, really demeaning, dangerous state right now, and we have to try to stop it.